there, and welcome to Wandering Works for Us. We're Shelley and Beth, a married couple living in Portugal and exploring the world one story at a time. Come wander with us as we laugh through language fails, cultural surprises, and GPS disasters, and discover just how amazing this world can be. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast, Wandering Works for Us. I am Shelley, and we're back with another video.
We're going to try this for the second ever time.
Oh, for the second ever time. And we did some editing yesterday, and we think it's working out pretty good.
Yeah, so,
So far.
you don't have to watch the video if you don't want to.
No, I will have, the regular version.
Yes, but
usual.
It's kind of cool. I mean, partially because you can insert photos of things that we're talking about and that sort of thing. So who knows?
And then you can see us just, wandering off.
Yeah. So, me looking over at Shelley,
See my new ring, my glasses,
So anyway.
Fun things.
Yeah.
So today's episode, we are moving from Oxford to the Cotswolds.
Yes, we are.
And for those of you, if you didn't listen to the Oxford one, we recommend you go back and do that, because as we talk about driving through the Cotswolds, it's a lot like driving to Oxford.
Yeah, you're going to want to hear all of that first.
Yes.
If you
plus
can.
It's fun.
Yeah. So the Cotswolds were beautiful.
They were Beth's idea.
I've always wanted to go to the Cotswolds. And it just so happened in the village where we stayed, which was called, or is called, Longborough, they have some of the best gin that I have ever tasted.
It is really good.
It's called Longborough Gin, produced in the Cotswolds.
Highly recommend.
I am currently trying to figure out how the heck to get more of this in Portugal, and I'm not sure yet, but perhaps Shelley will add it to the show notes.
Yes, plus, anybody
when
that
happens
to be watching this over in England and close to Longborough, and you're coming this way,
yes,
bring
please.
us a bottle or 8.
Or 8, yeah. It is really fantastic gin.
It is.
Anyway, and it was inexpensive to buy it there.
Yes.
So.
Well, relatively.
Yeah. So, on to the Cotswolds. We stayed in Longborough because basically it was in the area where we wanted to see a bunch of different small villages. And I found what I thought was a really great cottage to stay in. Spoiler alert. It was even better than I thought it was going to be. That cottage, guys, we will link it in the notes.
It was fairy tale.
It was like being in a movie. It was so beautiful. There were sheep across the street. We had our windows open in the bedroom, and we would wake up to baby lambs bang after their mothers. It was so cute.
And they had a creek that ran through like the back part of it on the patio, so you could hear the water rustling.
It was just,
and then of course, if it rained, you could hear it raining. It was a very relaxing place to stay.
It was, and it was furnished incredibly. They had bought an old cottage and completely redone it, but left a lot of the really beautiful things, like the huge fireplace and things like that.
And it had a really good kitchen.
Yeah, it did. They had a new kitchen, but it didn't look out of place in the cottage. And the kitchen was great. The beds were comfortable. It was just a dream place to stay.
It really was.
Longborough itself is a very small village. It has one pub, and they also serve food there. And it was good. We went there. And then they have this small store that also has a cafe attached to it, and they get in like fresh vegetables and eggs and other sort of things that you might run to the market for. And they carry the aforementioned Longborough Gin. That's where we found it. So, and the guy told me they also make vodka, and I, like an idiot, didn't get any.
Well, I'm glad you didn't, because we only had so much suitcase room.
We did.
And we kept, that was the beginning of the trip.
Yes.
And we had to lug 2 bottles of gin all over where we were going, because we bought one for ourselves to take home. We bought one for us to drink on the road, not in the car, but
Yeah.
And then one for our friend Meg. Hi, Meg. So, because they were taking care of the dog while we were gone. So,
Yeah. So
and it was
anyway.
heavy.
It was great, though. So the name of the cottage, I don't think I mentioned it, is called Lime Cottage. And as I said, we'll link it in the show notes.
Of course we will, because you'll want to stay there if you're going.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
All right. What's so great about the Cotswolds anyway? I mean, why did you feel the need to do this trip? I know you and Julie both adored it.
Yes.
To me, it's beautiful. It was country living. You're out in the middle of nowhere in all of these villages, really.
Yes.
And, they're sheep. They're pretty. They're farm animals.
Let me describe it, dear.
Okay.
It's
You probably do a better job.
beautiful rolling green hills, first of all. I mean, even without sheep everywhere dotting the hillsides, it would be beautiful. It is out in, as we would say in the United States, we would say out in the country. The villages that you see most of them are old, and they have beautiful stone cottages. And I don't know, it's just, first of all, I love sheep, and we went during lamb season, so there were lots of baby sheep and lots of flowers in bloom and that kind of thing, very green. But it's just kind of idyllic. And one of my favorite movies ever is one we watch every Christmas, and it's called The Holiday. And where that small town was, and the stone cottage where she lived and all of that, that's kind of what the Cotswolds looks like. And so I had wanted to go forever, and I was not disappointed.
It really is beautiful. So while we're there, we're planning to see a few villages, kind of get our driving feet under us, so to speak.
Indeed.
And one of the places that we ended up going was Gloucester.
Which is not a small village.
No, it's not a small village. It's a little bit, it's a city. It's a good sized city. And actually, I think I'd recommended, why don't we just stay there while you were planning it? And you're like, that's tough.
Yeah. Well, we really wanted to see the cathedral.
Yes. So that's why we went into Gloucester, was to see the cathedral, which was worth it.
It was. But
it was worth the drive.
Walking to the cathedral after we parked, because we found a parking garage and then walked over to the cathedral, we stopped in really quickly this small shop where the women were kind of in the window working, and they were hand weaving all kinds of different baskets.
Yeah.
And I kind of popped in just inside the door, and they were talking to me, and I asked them what they were making. They were making a casket. I did not know that people were buried in wicker caskets. I had no idea.
Maybe it's not legal in the United States.
It might not be. I haven't looked it up, but it might not be. But first of all, they're beautiful. They're works of art, but also they're less expensive, I think. And they are ecologically sound because they, go back into the earth, unlike a metal casket. So it was really interesting to see those. So anyway, then we popped in, if you will.
We popped into a restaurant and had lunch. And then
that's
we went
right.
to the
We
cathedral.
did. We had lunch. Yeah.
Yes. But I was, of course, since we're on the Harry Potter tour, guys.
Yeah.
I was excited to see the cathedral for the corridors and the cloister, of course, because that's where Harry Potter was filmed. I believe number 4 was done there. And that was one of my reasons that I wanted to go. I don't think I had big expectations for this cathedral, but oh my goodness. The rest of this place was incredible. That little cloister part was just tiny. compared to what the rest of it had.
While incredibly gorgeous.
Yes,
it was.
yes.
Yeah, it's a Gothic structure, and it is literally one of the most beautiful cathedrals that I have ever seen, and I've seen a lot of them at this point.
Lord, yes, we have.
It dates back to about, let's see, what was it, 679 AD.
Yeah, that's right. They had one king was coronated there.
Yeah. Coronated? Is that a word?
I don't know.
Had his coronation there? I don't know. Don't know.
He got crowned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Edward II was buried there. They had the casket out. Well, they had a tomb thing that you could check out. Yeah.
The
cloisters
have this medieval fan-like ceiling, and it is just beautiful. You kind of can't stop looking at it. The choir, behind the altar, if you will, where the choir sits and all of that. I mean, it's a work of art in itself.
Yeah.
And the carving in the wood and the stone floors, oh my Lord, they were beautiful. And they, of course, have an incredible east window, and it dates back, I'm looking, to the 1350s, and that's a stained glass window, and it's roughly the size of a tennis court.
The east window.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
Gorgeous. They also had some really interesting, which you don't see very often, but off of the main cathedral and some other areas, they had some more modern stained glass by fairly famous artists. And when I say modern, I mean done during the 1900s. And they were commissioned for either an event or a special thing they were doing, or, whatever. And some of those were beautiful. So it was just really interesting to kind of see the whole thing. And Shelley experienced the Whispering Gallery.
Yes. So, of course, every time we visit one of these places, if I find the back stairs and they let me go up to a tower or whatever, I'm going to climb them and go see. And they had a whole second level of things going on, like with kids can do artwork and create your own gargoyles up there. And, of course, you can look down onto where the choir is. But behind the east window, behind that stained glass, they have this little walkway that they call the Whispering Gallery. And the idea is that somebody can be on one end of the Whispering Gallery and you can be on the other, and you can whisper in and they can hear you. And actually, Julie had met me up top at this point, and we tried it out, and it worked. It was really cool.
Yeah, I bet it was.
So I enjoyed, messing around up there because the views from the second floor were just amazing. I mean, this cathedral kind of blew my expectations out of the water. We've seen a lot of cathedrals, like we said, and this one, I don't guess I was expecting very much, but it's worth going to see it.
I highly recommend seeing it. As I said, it's one of the most spectacular cathedrals I have ever been in. And it just has so many different components to it. It's so interesting.
Now, I want to actually tell a side story here right quick. Because, it's only our second day of driving in England. And in the morning, we got up. We left probably somewhere around 11 or so to go to Gloucester. So we took it easy. And, of course, we didn't know where we were going. So we finally had figured out how to use the navigation system in the car.
There you go.
And so it takes us down this back road by a brewery, and it was beautiful back road.
So
and we
pretty.
had stopped and we took pictures,
So
and we're
pretty.
Just driving, and it's gorgeous. It's 11 o'clock in the morning, and we get to Gloucester and we do the whole thing. Okay, but we've got to come back, and of course we come back once again in 5 o'clock traffic. Now,
Seems to be our thing.
You wouldn't think that the countryside would be very busy during 5 o'clock traffic.
You would think wrong.
But, okay, so we're going down this small road, and not all the roads were small, but there's this one that kind of connected one road to another that we always seem to have to take. And it was one that had the pullouts. Now, here's the thing. I'm coming one way. Everybody else on the road is going the opposite way. And so I would get back on the road after I pull out and feel comfortable about it. And then around the corner, I mean, they came around so quickly. I think the people in the back seat, Julie and Ann, were a little, I don't know, they were very supportive of my driving because I'm the one doing the driving at this point.
Yeah, honestly, we weren't looking back there, but they probably just had their eyes closed.
No, I didn't look. I was totally watching where I was going. And the thing is, at one point when I pull off the road, I mean, the car is yelling at me basically, "You're too close to the side." And I'm like, I'm well aware how close to the side I am, but this truck has to get by me.
Mm-hmm. And what do we keep saying? Full coverage. Because we got the full coverage insurance.
And I think that actually ended the harrowing part of driving in England.
Yeah.
I think the rest of it was not bad at all. We were out on country roads, but they were wider and it was easier to navigate. I think it was just, the initial one-way street that just blew my mind there.
Yeah, it got a lot better after that.
Yeah. And I believe that's the night that we went to the pub, maybe. I don't remember. No. We stopped somewhere. We stopped at Marks and Spencer's in Gloucester and bought food for the night. So we didn't have to eat out.
That's right, because we were tired.
And I bought 2 canned gin and tonics.
This is before we discovered
the
best
great gin. And as soon as we got home, I popped those suckers and drank.
She did, people. She did.
Because my nerves, y'all.
Yeah. I was fine, by the way.
Of course she was. She's always fine. So the next day was supposed to be a rest day.
Yeah, it was.
We did actually try to build a rest day into this, but
yeah,
there's just so much beautiful landscaping to see out in the country in England, and so that's what we did.
Is that the day we went over? We went over to Stow-on-the-Wold, didn't we? Because we went there. And then we went back the next day for our already planned brunch.
I think actually we went to Bourton-on-the-Water.
Oh, did we that day? Okay.
Yeah, because our rest day, well, you know what? Now I have to sit here and remember.
It really doesn't matter. They don't care. Let's talk about Bourton-on-the-Water.
Okay.
It's pretty.
It is pretty.
It's kind of billed as the Venice of the Cotswolds. And it does have a canal running through it. It's not really a canal with boats.
It's not deep enough.
It's more like a beautiful little river or creek. Really, we would say, running through it. And it has all these little bridges across it. And they actually encourage people to get in the water when it's hot, because the steps where you can sit and everything go right down to it. And there were kids splashing around and that kind of thing. It's one of the most photographed villages in the Cotswolds. And so
people.
We, felt like we needed to go see it. But heavens to Betsy.
First of all, we decided to go see this on a Saturday.
Yeah.
That was our first mistake.
For lunch at a tea room and then to walk around in the afternoon.
And so we had to park kind of wait out a bit. Of course, you have to pay for parking everywhere you go. And we spent the afternoon. The tea room wasn't that crowded, so it was actually kind of nice. We had a nice lunch. And then we walked around, and there are great shops through there. There's lots of shopping you can do.
Ice cream.
All
kinds of stuff.
But like at one point, everybody's shopping but me because I'm not a shopper. And I'm thinking I would really like to sit outside somewhere and just maybe sip on a beer and tell them this is where I am. And when you're done, I'll come back. And I could not find one place that had like an open table for me to sit at, or just there weren't really, the pubs aren't set up like that there.
No, it is purely, probably wasn't like this originally, but what happens is, and I read this unfortunately after we went, tour buses roll in there. And you either want to go there in the morning or after 4 p.m. because the tours buses will be gone. So the tour buses roll in, people flood the town and the restaurants and all of that. And I think, small pubs can handle that kind of thing. So those are probably outside of the beautiful canal area now where
they
we
might have
went.
been back around that
Yeah,
set of.
which you didn't see.
But also, the other problem we had was we didn't have a signal on our phones.
That's right.
I don't know why. You would think that the whole place would have Wi-Fi or something out there, but we didn't have a phone signal, so it's not like I could break off from the group and say, "Oh, here, this is where I am."
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't have it. We had signals everywhere else.
Yeah, that was so strange.
Yeah, I mean, even in Longborough. But yeah, it was. It's the kind of thing that I would recommend. I mean, it's beautiful. We have beautiful pictures with lots of people in them, but. Go in the morning, go and have breakfast, or go and walk around and then have an early lunch and then get out of there, because unfortunately the tour buses roll in. However, there was one thing that we did there that fulfilled a dream of mine. And when I posted about it online, I got all of this advice about how I wasn't even at the best one. So I'm going to tell you about it.
What was it?
Well, there's something in the UK specific. I mean, I think there's England. I think there's also maybe a few in Scotland. But they are called the miniature model villages. Not to be confused with full-size model villages that were built for people to live in when they worked like at a certain mill or something. And the mill people built these villages. And those are also evidently cool to go look at. But these are miniatures.
She's seen one, but
and they were
won't tell you
built
about it.
as sort of whimsical tourist attractions, mostly in the 1930s. And some have model railways, some have little rivers running through them. They're kind of different scales, but we saw one that like a 2-story building would come up to maybe our hip. I mean, these places have lights and front displays in the village shops. They are so cool. But one of the reasons I wanted to see them is when I was growing up, one of my favorite sets of books when I was like in, I don't know, late elementary, middle school, was called The Borrowers. And that is by an author named Mary Norton, who was British. And she took inspiration from those miniature model villages, and in the book in the series called The Borrowers Aloft, they are actually living in one. And I had just, ever since I read that, I wanted to see them. And today they are like the one where we went. It's a grade 2 listed model village, so it's protected. So they are now protecting them and keep refurbing them and keeping them going for tourists. But I just really wanted to see one. I don't know.
I'd never heard of these things. Like,
she did.
Ever.
And for some reason, I'd never even told her about it, because before we went on this trip, I actually reread The Borrowers, the entire series. And for some reason, I never described this to Shelley. So I'm like, we're going to see a model village. And she's like, oh, what? And I said, it's like a miniature village. I mean, this is the day we're there. So to put it mildly.
And to be honest, I thought we were going into a place where the houses were maybe like this big. Oh. But no, this is one you feel like Gulliver and Lilliput.
Yes.
It is it's like she said, it comes up to your hip. It's not something that you kind of walk around and little houses are like this. No, it's big.
And they're faithful recreations of, like in this case, this one was Bourton-on-the-Water, because that's where we were. And it's made out of real Cotswold stone, just like the real places in Bourton-on-the-Water. So I don't know. I just thought that it was fantastic. I was so happy to see one. Now, there are a couple of others that people have told me since I posted about it that are even better. And so when I'm back in England, I plan on going to more miniature model
Have
villages.
a good time.
Yeah, Shelley will be in a pub waiting on me.
I'm sure there's something out there I can do.
Indeed. But anyway, if you loved The Borrowers and you've read the whole series, you'll know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't read The Borrowers, what is wrong with you? And you need to go back and read them because, oh my gosh, they're so good. Anyway, okay, enough about that. So, where else did we go in the Cotswolds?
We went to a place called Stow-on-the-Wold, which actually was one of my favorite villages that we went to.
It was. It was great.
It was small. It was quiet. The tourists apparently were not there. We got to do some shopping, easy parking, and we went to 2 restaurants in town, and the food was amazing. Mm-hmm. And so that place was, I think, my favorite one.
It really was mine too, even though I loved the model village. I did not love being there with all the people in Bourton. But this Stow-on-the-Wold had like really great shops. Like we went to a shop called Woolovers, which had really great clothes for, well, women. They also had men's clothes.
Yeah, they had a men's section.
And they had
smaller.
And so we actually bought several things there because we're at the point now where we need to start replacing clothes. So we really liked that. And then what used to be the church that's sitting in the middle, is that the one that was the Tolkien door?
It was, but it wasn't in the film because all the films were done in New Zealand. It was just known to be an inspiration for the Doors of Durham, but that's it. Because Tolkien, like we said yesterday with Tolkien and C.S. Lewis and Lewis Carroll and Jane Austen, all of these writers got a great deal of inspiration from the Cotswolds, and so that was supposedly his inspiration for that. But no, it wasn't in the film or anything.
Yeah. Well, the building was beautiful.
It was.
And we really enjoyed, we had both a dinner there at a restaurant called The Porch that actually
somebody recommended, our
it was the person who owned our cottage, Lime Cottage, and we went there and it was very good. And then it just so happened while we were there on Sunday, it was Mother's Day in the United States. So we took Mama Ann to a Sunday roast, and we went to a place called the Stag on Stow, and it was
I'm going to tell you, that was the best Sunday roast I have ever had.
It was maybe the best meal we had on this whole 3-week adventure.
Yes,
it was so good. So we highly recommend Stow-on-the-Wold. That's UOLD, and taking some time to wander around there and have fun. So we were there 4 nights. 1 whole day was taken up by, first we had to drive there from where we had been, and we had dinner that night and that kind of thing. Then 1 day was taken up by the cathedral, and then Stow-on-the-Wold was, I'm sorry, Bourton-on-the-Water was supposed to be our rest day, and we went there. And then Stow-on-the-Wold was another day. But if we went back, Shelley, what would we do different?
Stay shorter.
That is not the correct answer.
No, I mean, like the slaughters, upper and lower slaughter, we just kind of drove through them. We didn't actually stop and see. You really, if you're going to see all these villages in the Cotswolds, you need a good amount of time because you have to drive to every single one. And then, of course, I'm going to say, except for Bourton-on-the-Water, I'm making a generalization here, but except for Bourton-on-the-Water, I think you'd be able to park at any of the other ones pretty easily.
Yeah. And
then get out and walk around and check out, the shops and the villages. And I think the idea of these villages is they look like old English villages. So like old, not
They're
Not
gorgeous.
new, yes, and
They're
so,
gorgeous.
Yeah, I think that's what we would do differently. Number one is we'd have to stay longer in order to see more.
And there's a town that we wanted to go to that was right there called, it's Bibury, and I keep calling it Byberry, but that's a southern pronunciation. It's probably Baberry or something like that. But it has this row of houses that is actually the most Instagrammed spot in the Cotswolds. And I wanted to see that. We kind of canned that because we were busy. We didn't go to Castlecombe, which was right there.
I mean, we probably could have, but we would have stuck too much in a day.
Yeah, we didn't want to do that.
And we were trying to, hold up our rules on this and not do too much in one day.
We were.
But, I mean, we could have crammed it in there if we wanted to, but...
Plus, we had some big days coming.
Yes.
We were going to, Haddon Hall when we made our next stop, and that was going to be a whole day, and that kind of stuff. So we didn't want to.
To York was going to be a big thing.
We didn't want to blow it out at that point.
Save our energy a little bit. And just chill.
But in sort of to wrap this up, what I would say is the Cotswolds are beautiful. It's beautiful. It is just like a movie set. In most places, it is exactly kind of what you think it will be if you're in the right areas. There are lots of things to see. I can't imagine doing it without a car.
There's no way.
You would definitely be limited to where a bus goes, which would be the more popular destinations, like Bourton-on-the-Water.
And I mean, you can if you're staying in London or you're staying maybe outside of London, there are tours that go to the Cotswolds.
Yes, you could do a tour.
But they're probably going to stop in 3 places, and one of them being Bourton-on-the-Water,
during the busy time.
So, I mean, that is doable.
It is, and if it's the only way you can see it, man, go for it. But we were there in May, so we were kind of there at the perfect time because everything was so green and all the flowers were in bloom. And the baby lambs were frolicking in the fields. And I mean, it was kind of perfection. Although it does snow in many areas of the Cotswolds. And I saw some pictures of our cottage, Lime Cottage, in the snow. And it was beautiful. So I'm not sure that it wouldn't be fun to go in the winter. And, you'd have to be comfortable with driving in the snow. But I think it might be fun to do that. Shelley's probably shaking her head into the camera, and I cannot see her. But I really love the Cotswolds. Now, we only did part of them. We drew a line on the map and did stuff north of that because our whole point was to wind our way over time to York and then to Edinburgh because of our schedule. So we did not go south of that line, and we missed places like Bath.
Yeah.
And all of the places around that. So when we go back, we will do that part of the Cotswolds.
Yes.
So,
anything else?
What else you want to say about it? Anything?
I did it once and I'm grateful for it. And, it was good.
I definitely loved it more than Shelley did.
3 stars, a few notes.
Oh, goodness.
And I would give it 5 stars.
I would give it 5 stars. I mean, I loved it. But next we went to Bakewell and the Peak District and Haddon Hall, and we'll talk about all of that in our next episode.
Yep. So hit that subscribe button if you want to hear more about this. Also check our show notes because I always put the blog post in them, and it'll take you to all the places that we've been to. I always include a Google map to go with it. So and sometimes an itinerary. So it'll help you plan your trip if you're looking to do that.
Or I can help you. Contact me. So there you go. So I think we can say Boatard.
Thanks for wandering with us. If you had a laugh, learned something new, or just enjoyed the ride, be sure to follow us on all of our social media at Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, YouTube, and I think that's it. Check out our website at www.forus, that's www.forus.com, and drop us a line at our email address at wandering@www.forus.com. We'd love to hear from you, your stories, questions, or favorite travel fails. Until next time, keep exploring, keep laughing, and remember, wandering works for us, and it just might work for you too.